Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love. You can book your own personal private reading with me on my website, psychicbellalove.com. Use coupon code November by the 12th of November 2021 at checkout to get an extra $20 off any appointment, excluding emergency appointments. And after the 12th of November, if you are a new client, use coupon code NEW, all in caps at checkout, to get extra money off. Also, you can join my Patreon. That is the place where I do exclusive deep dives into all of the conspiracy theories, the satanic whatever of the industry, all that kind of stuff. So, and that is the only place where I do requested videos on celebrities. I do not take celebrity reading requests on YouTube or any other platform. And all of my content on Patreon is always 100% exclusive to Patreon. I don't edit it out and then post it on YouTube later on. I don't even know how to do any of that stuff anyways. And if you want to follow me on my backup channel, that is the place that I will be doing all of my lives from in the future. We have to get to that YouTube threshold of 1,000 subscribers so that we can go live. And once we do, then we will. And you can follow me on my Instagram. All of that information will be linked in the description box below. And make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because we are uploading content every single day throughout November and December, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. So I did a very much more in-depth reading on this on my Patreon, because Spirit doesn't want me to give away too many details, because people involved in this case are watching videos and we don't want to give too much of a heads up to them of what is to come. But Spirit said I'm allowed to do this part. So if you missed it, Kenny has now responded to the lawsuit that Jennifer Hough has filed against him and Nicki, and Nicki has also responded as well. Both of their lawyers are asking for the lawsuit to get dropped on the basis of Kenny was not properly served and neither was Nicki. And it has come out that in California, if you are to serve somebody, you have to send a certified letter to follow up, stating to the people who were supposed to be served, you got served at this time, so that way if they didn't receive it, they know and they can do something about it. And he did not follow what is the law for being served in a lawsuit in California properly. And they also, are alleging that Nicki doesn't have any basis to be sued in this, because obviously what Kenny and Jennifer's issues from, 1994 at this point, we all know what happened. So we're not gonna, get into that part of it. But that has nothing to do with Nicki, so she shouldn't be included in being sued for that. And Kenny has come back and said, I was charged with attempted assault, not actual assault, and I only took the plea deal because I was a kid and I couldn't afford anything else, and they were, hanging a 20 years to life sentence over my head. So he's saying, there's no proof that I ever did any of this anyways, and I never got served there. And he's also alleged that yes, he did give the guy that everybody is calling Black, aka Barry, Nicki's phone number, but that it was Jennifer who called Nicki. And Nicki's lawyers have also alleged that Jennifer has been the one who is trying to contact Nicki and get money out of Nicki since 2018. So we're going to take a look at, whether or not any of these things are true, what Spirit wants us to know. And so this is probably going to be a long one. Get a snack, settle in. I've got my coffee. Yes, I love Nicki, but I can also be unbiased and tell the truth about things. And you can go back on my Nicki playlist. I have done videos on who Kenny really is and, you know, tons of deep dives into this situation already. So this is just following the progression of things. So Spirit, please join us and answer any questions that we have in regards to this current lawsuit that is going on between Jennifer Hough and Nicki and Kenneth. Thank you. I'll also be asking about lawyers. Thank you. We're asking only with the intention and purpose of clarity and understanding, to know the truth, not with any bad intention. Spirit, please bless and protect all who we ask about in this reading, as well as all who listen and participate. Amen. Okay, Spirit, let's start off with, were Kenny and Nicki actually properly served, or were they, let's say this, were they served at all? Did they have any knowledge that they had actually been served? Thank you, Spirit. Just gonna ask yes or no. No, they were not. Nicki is telling the truth that they found out online, because if you've been here for a while, you know my Ace of Swords is my online card. So this is something that Jennifer's side is, they know that they fucked up, basically. Because here's Tyrone coming up as the King of Pentacles. And right behind it is the Four of Cups with the Two of Swords and this Nine of Swords within the Six of Pentacles fob. So they're basically talking about, he is pissed because he knows that this little thing could really throw out their whole case. And so, you know, that's why they're pushing for this default judgment, because they're trying to force the judge to just settle the case and give Jen money, because he has his doubts. He knows that who he's going up against has way more experience than him, both Nicki and Kenny's lawyers. And, you know, that basically it's like Mercury retrograde hit this whole entire case. And honestly, I think they did file during Mercury retrograde, which was stupid too. But it's like, so far, everything that he thought he was getting out of this situation is coming back to bite him in the butt. So that's interesting. Alrighty. Spirit, can you please tell us, is it true that Jennifer has been trying to get into contact with Nicki since 2018, as her lawyers allege in their lawsuit? Thank you. And again, please don't ask follow-up questions in the comments, because I guarantee you I probably answered that on Patreon. The reason it is on my Patreon is because, as I said, there's a lot of details that, number one, we can't talk about over here anyways without getting in trouble. But number two, we do not want people like Tyrone watching this and being like, well, here is what's going on next, you know, and then thinking that they're ahead of the game. You would be surprised at who does and doesn't watch these videos. And I'm not tooting my own horn, because they watch everybody who is doing a reading on this case's videos, because everybody is extremely nervous. they're all starting to doubt what they got themselves into. Okay, so not only was she the one who was reaching out to Nicki and making these attempts at initial contact, but she was also leading everybody around her to believe that she was going to recant. The thing that's coming up here is that once again, there was this whole worry of, oh my God, you know, I can't do that because then I may open myself up to some sort of, you know, criminal charges or legal backlash from that. And so then it became, well, I'm going to get my money in another way because she was worried about possible criminal charges bouncing back on her. So yes, she was in communication with the intention of, you know, getting some money out of her. I mean, I've told you guys from day one, this has been an extortion plot. So the thing is that that's coming in here, you know, she doesn't have the evidence that Nicki has. So Nicki has always kept records of communication that came anyway towards her relating to Jen, because she just never really trusted her from the get-go. And she's been holding on to this, but now it's gonna come out if she needs to pull it out of her pocket, either to get this case dropped or to pursue her own case later. Also expect that there is a possibility that Jen's lawyers could drop her before we even get to the case being dropped or tried. Nicki and her lawyers are going to push to actually go to trial now if they feel that that's going to force more information to have to come out of Jen and her side, and to force them to have to cough up evidence and things like that, because at this point, and this is what every time I read anything about this case or hear anything about it, from the beginning I've been hearing she opened Pandora's box, and things are going to come out that are going to lead to Kenny being able to exonerate himself from his original case. So they're willing to play that game in order to not only, you know, kind of basically smoke them out, so to speak, you know, like that old term that they say, because if we know anything about lawsuits, there's a discovery process, which means that anything that relates to what is going on in that case, each side's attorneys can ask for evidence and statements and depose people on that. So that means that because she's trying to sue both Nicki and Kenny for the 1994 case, and she brought that into this lawsuit, if the judge allows this lawsuit to continue to a trial, then that means that Kenny and Nicki's lawyers can then tell her, okay, we need to see all your evidence for what happened in 1994. We need to get eyewitnesses from depose everybody who was around during that time period and see what they have to say. And that, I've always said something about this, if she sued him, she's opening up the door for some piece of evidence to come out, or enough stuff to come out to completely cast doubt on that whole original case. and work in Kenny's favor to get out from under that. And this fell out when I was shuffling, and Spirit says this is in relation to all the people that have been around Jennifer and pushing her. Oh, go sue. Oh, go do this. Oh, go do that. Oh, come on my YouTube channel all the time. Oh, let's talk about this, this, and this. You guys are going to face the same Tower card moment that she is going to, because you participated and allowed her to defame and smear Nicki and Kenny's names publicly. And so when things like that happen, the content creator who hosted that and participated in it is the one who gets in trouble. I mean, why do you guys think Jaguar like never wanted to make her own YouTube? It wasn't just the tax stuff. It's because she knew that if she was saying stuff on like Tasha K's channel, for instance, say Common wanted to sue, it makes more sense for him to go sue Tasha because she's the one that made money off of that interview, and she continues to make money off of it. Whereas not only does Jaguar not have a pot to piss in the first place, but she also wasn't the person receiving the AdSense and having her channel benefit off of it, right? So yeah, of course she'd be named in it, but it would be Tasha that's taking the fall, the same way that happened with the Cardi B situation. That originally Star Marie was included in everything. However, they dropped her off and just solely focused on Tasha. And of course, you know, Tasha's the one who took the ball and ran with it, but was what she did in those situations really any different than the groups of YouTubers who were so thirsty to get views off of this situation, you know, and we're making all kinds of money from donations to their channel and views and all of that? I mean, I hope that it was enough for them to afford lawyers' fees, because like I said, I keep getting from this that Nicki is going to sue the crap out of all of them. Or better yet, Kenny will too, because it was really Kenny's name who got even more, well, both of them, you know, equally. And I hope that they file those lawsuits completely separately too, because smart people know what that would mean. All right, let's just ask that real quick. Spirit, are Nicki and Kenny going to sue everybody once this case is settled out? Thank you. Yes or no? And we are including any of the YouTubers who took part in perpetuating these stories, allowing Jen to continually be on their platform. Thank you. And don't name anybody's name in the comments, please. We're not trying to start anything. We're just trying to understand what is going on. So don't send any hate to anybody either. That's not what this is encouraging. This is about also learning too, because, you know, some people who watch this are creators, and we all have to know to protect ourselves in situations like this, because we think it's just, oh, well, they're just telling their side of the story or whatever. But we have to consider, if we're making money off of it, or we're gaining views and subscribers, or benefiting in one way or the other in the eyes of the court, then, you know, we took part in that and we can be complicit and held liable. So, well, if that ain't a yes, I don't know what is. Again, I hope all them views and everything added up. I hope you guys have been saving up. Maybe Tyrone will give you guys a freebie. Or the real estate lawyer. Okay, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be petty in this, but it's just Tyrone and this other lawyer. It's like, I don't know if you guys watched, I linked it on my community tab. Vlad TV had Mo, who's lawyer for workers, on Instagram on his channel, and they were talking about this case, and Mo said this lawsuit and the way that he's been going about things does not, you know, say to me or any other lawyer that this is a lawyer who's looking to win a case, but somebody was just taking advantage to get their name out there. And then he was just basically like, I don't even understand what they're suing for, and this doesn't make sense, like everybody with half a brain has said. So it's just always good to hear it though, because, you know, I mean, for those of us, whether you're a barb or you just have, you know, common sense or saw through all of this from the beginning, it's just sometimes, you know, because when you are not afraid to speak up and say this is BS, then everybody jumps down your throat. So to have an actual legal expert, you know, be able to say, no, look, this is weird and that doesn't make sense and this isn't gonna, you know, work. It's like, okay, at least we're vindicated, right? And I know the whole Free Britney movement has definitely been living at that too. So let's just see, what else should we ask? Spirit, is there anything else we should know surrounding this case? Thank you. And then I'll just ask a couple more things if we don't get the answers in this, because sometimes when I just ask that open-ended question like that, Spirit answers everything. And I mean, you guys, something that's coming up is, you know, obviously not only is everybody going to turn on Jen when the ish hits the fan and they all have to start, you know, answering for themselves and dealing with the consequences and all of that. But I feel like she may end up getting sued by somebody beyond Nicki and Kenny, you know, in this whole, like, I'm trying to save myself, so I'm going to turn around and sue you because you were the one who came and lied to me and put me in this situation where now I have to go to court to defend myself. I don't know. And I'll just tell you this too, guys. Every time I see pictures of her, I see, especially recently, and it's not because I'm like trying to be funny or imagine it on purpose, but it's really because I think Spirit's really showing me the future. I always see her in an orange prison suit. Okay, so we know that Kenny has already filed his lawsuit as well against the state of New York. Obviously, the team that he has in place, well, both him and Nicki's lawyers, they definitely, you know, have that plan of we may be able to get all the evidence we need through this. So I mean, Kenny's getting what he wants. Oh boy. I mean, and here's Jen, 2 of Swords, money issues, things did not work out the way that she expected, as well as the fact that everybody who is around her supporting her during this time is going to turn their backs on her, run away, abandon her. And there's so much, you guys, that every court filing that we're going to see coming out going forwards, there's going to be more and more and more and more and more that is coming out. And this is the thing that Spirit was saying to me earlier. You know, Kenny's been in a situation because obviously since the state found him guilty of something, towards her, you know, because of the plea deal that he took. He's been under basically like, you know, lifelong protection order that he can't have any contact with her or speak publicly about her or any of that. So he's really never had an opportunity to be able to tell his side of things. And then obviously Nicki tried to do that, and that led to even more chaos and craziness and her getting attacked for that. And the thing that I don't think that Jennifer anticipated in this situation is that Kenny finally does get to have a chance to tell his side of the story through all of this court documents. Every deposition, every written statement, every filed paper is another opportunity for Kenny to provide a statement and talk about what really happened and what he's gone through and all of that. And as we've seen that, you know, at first everybody wanted to go run to defend her and turn on Kenny and Nicki and be like, oh my God, you know, they're horrible people, look what they did. More and more people I've seen comments online of saying, at first I believed her and now I want to apologize to Nicki and Kenny because none of this makes sense. Now I doubt that anything ever happened in the first place. And so that's happened without Kenny even having had a chance to say anything. So now going forward, the more and more that he does get that opportunity and that we'll see there's a new filing and then we read it and here's this whole statement from Kenny about, you know, something else, the more and more that people are going to question her even more. And she's been riding off of the GP's sympathy and support. And so if she doesn't have that, and we all know there's no real true evidence, not in her favor, for her to win any kind of harassment suit, it's not looking good for you, girl. Okay, Spirit, just one more time. Is there any chance that Jennifer is going to win this lawsuit? Thank you. And keep in mind, guys, I've said this before too, there's no way in heck that she wants to file this lawsuit in California if the judge says you have to sue them in California for the harassment part, because California has an anti-SLAPP law, which means that if she loses and Kenny and Nicki, you know, get the case thrown out or they win the case, that means that Jennifer will have to pay their legal fees, because California recognizes it as you wouldn't have even been here and you wouldn't have even had to pay these legal fees if this person hadn't brought you to court in the first place. So therefore, they're responsible for covering that. And look at the Britney Spears case and how much the lawyer fees are for certain things. Some of those lawyers involved were charging like $600 an hour, $700 an hour. So, you know, and the average for a celebrity level lawyer is $400 an hour. So there's no way in heck that she wants to risk having to pay for something like that. Nobody does that unless they know that they have an absolutely 100% airtight case. Wow, I mean, what does that tell you? I'm like, the underlying energy. 3 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, and 8 of Cups. You did not get what you were looking for. The bag did not come, and you have to abandon this idea that you had. And it was created with the intention of hurting somebody else in the first place. Trying to break up somebody's family, trying to interfere with their life and cause them harm and pain. just because you saw an opportunity to make yourself some money. So, I mean, little boo-boo, not only is you not winning this, you going to jail. Maybe not for this lawsuit, but, you know, give Kenny and his lawyers enough time to overturn his case. It will catch up with you someday. You never escape your karma or the consequences of your actions. Even if you think you got away with it the first time, it always comes back around. So anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end that here. I love you all so very much. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. What do you think about all of this? Make it respectful. Keep it cute. Do not send hate to anybody. Do not start naming creators' names and psychics' names and all of that stuff in the comments, because we are not starting that kind of drama over here. And if you do, I will block you. And if you fight with my barbs, I will block you too. So keep it cute. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because I have tons of content coming your way throughout November and December every day. Join the Patreon, follow me on Instagram and the backup channel, and I will see you barbs at the end of the month for Pink Friday Live. I love you. Bye.